Well, Overwatch is not dead. It's actually very much alive. Now this video I'm going to show you some numbers and I'm going to share my own opinion why I think this game, well, why I actually stopped playing it myself and why I think many other players are dropping the game. Alright, so this is, you see Overwatch 2 live monthly player detail. This is from activeplayer.io for Overwatch 2. You can see when the game was released as a free-to-play, Overwatch 2 on October 30, 2022. It has a huge spike. You can see monthly gain, 18.5 million. Which is monthly gain loss. You're going to see the 100%, so it's actually gaining lots of players. But since then, it declined quite significantly and kind of back to normal. Because you can see that the monthly gain in the last 30 days, as of now, is 2%. Alright, so furthermore, the decline is more significant than the overall decline in Activision's monthly active player count, which fell from 111 million to 98 million during Q1 of 2023. And this website tracks player data and reports that Overwatch 2 average monthly players have only increased every month. So the 40% decline for Blizzard basically failed to impede growth. Right, and you can clearly see it here. If you see at the monthly gain and loss in purple, you can see that it's still gaining players. Now this is also from the same website, activeplayer.io, and you can actually see that there was a negative. You can actually see the negative one on April 30, but you can see that since then there was growth. You can see this in purple, the monthly gain and loss. So it's still gaining players, and you can see in blue the average monthly players as well growing since October, again comparing it to October 30, 2022 when the Overwatch 2 was released. So as you can see, looking at the numbers, these are healthy numbers. This means that Overwatch is far from being dead, it's actually growing. I mean, it had its loss again because it was a spike, and then again it got down, but again it kind of stabilized back more or less how it was before. Now, well, what are the reasons why Overwatch is not succeeding as an esport and has relatively low viewership? I mean, if you compare it, for example, to the peak viewership of Valorant, I think it's 1.5 million, and Overwatch had like 437, and average for Valorant is 350, and for Overwatch is 120. Overall, low. So what's the reason? Well, first of all, you can maybe blame the meta. The Overwatch meta has been relatively stagnant for a long time, which has made the game less exciting to watch for spectators. This is because there are few dominant team compositions that are almost always played, which makes for, let's say, repetitive and predictable gameplay. The other thing is the lack of innovation. Blizzard has been slow to introduce new content to Overwatch, which has made the game feel stale for many players. This is in contrast to other eSport titles such as Valorant, which has been regularly updated with new maps, agents, and game modes. The other thing is oversaturation. There are a lot of popular eSport titles competing for attention, which has made it difficult for Overwatch to stand out. This is especially true in the wake of the release of Valorant, which has quickly become one of the most popular eSport games in the world. Now, I can tell you one thing that is, I mean, as a person really enjoy watching eSport, Valorant, for example, is very easy to follow, whether Overwatch is exactly the opposite. It's so fast-paced, it's so flashy with effect, you can barely see what's going on. So I personally don't enjoy watching it because it's just all over the place. You really don't understand what's happening. You're just gonna see the result that, you know, after like a few seconds. But I really just feel that in terms of you know, and they try to improve it, of course, over the years, make things changes like with the colors, so it's easier to watch. Still, I think it's just a really bad game to watch as an esport. Now, speaking about Valorant, you can see these stats for Valorant from the same source, activeplayer.io. You can see that in the last 30 days, 25.1 million players. You can see it more or less stable since October, again since Overwatch 2 was released in 2022. So you can see at least based on these stats, both of the games are very healthy stats, and Overwatch 2 is well, far from being a dead game, it's actually gaining more players. But again, it actually stabilizes after you got the huge. But this is quite expectable, right? We've seen it in many games that get a huge spike of players, and then it kind of stabilizes back. So this is not like a uncommon behavior. People check the game, especially because it was free to play. So this was a huge spike. Everybody could just try the game and see if they like it or not, and then it stabilizes. But again, considering how much time Overwatch is on market, Valorant is well, it got to that position pretty fast and is more popular than Overwatch 2, at least as of July 2023, because according to ActivePlayer.io, Valorant had an average of 25.1 million monthly active players in the last 30 days on June 2023, the time of making this video, while Overwatch 2 had an average of 20.2 million monthly active players in the same period. Valorant also has a higher peak concurrent player count with 8.5 million players compared to Overwatch 2's 3.5 million. So there are a few reasons why Valorant is more popular than Overwatch 2. First, Valorant is a newer game, so it has had less time to lose players. Who knows, maybe it will happen. Second, Valorant is more tactical and focused on gunplay, which appeals to a wider audience. Now, personally, I stopped watching Overwatch eSport for quite some time. I actually find it getting boring. As much as I actually love the heroes and the design of the game, and of course there are lots of appeal, but watching it as an esport, I just stopped it. Maybe there's a finals or big tournament, I might log in. But when it comes to Valorant, I always in, and especially Masters and fan of Fnatic, and I just enjoy watching it. It's just so much fun. The reason I stopped playing it because PvE was boring and it became stale, and I was actually hoping for PvE, good PvE content. And again, ranking became kind of stale, and eventually I found other more fun games to play. That's it. And this is it for this video. So as you can see, Overwatch 2 is far from being that. Actually very popular game. And from what I read, it was in 2022 was the 9th most popular game in the world. So yeah. So far from being dead, but again, you can see also how it kind of relatively compared to Valorant, and this answers some of your questions. Yeah, that's based on the little research that I did. If you have other things, if you got something wrong, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.